Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivardhari Yasodandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Prabhupada Tadasi Simad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Prabhupada Tadasi Simad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Srila Thakur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stavidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada. Today's verse is number 16, chapter 2, chapter entitled Contents of Gita Summarized. This is a famous verse. Well, they're all famous. But this one, please repeat. Nashato, vidyate, bhavo, na bhavo, vidyate sata, ubayo, api, dristonyas. Sorry, dristontas, dristontas, swananyosh, tatvadashibi, nashyato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, Twanayosh Tatvadashibi. Okay, go ahead. Chito Vidyate Bhavo, Nabhavo Vidyate Sata, Ubayo Api Dristontas, Twananyos Tatvadashibi. Nachite Vidyate Bhavo, Nabhavo Vidyate Sata, Nas Twananyos Tatvadashibi. Nashito Vidyate Bhavo, Vidyate Sata. Vidyate Sata. Vidyate Bhavo. Yeah. Okay, word for word. Please repeat. Nashito. Oh, sorry. Na. Never. Asataha. Of the non-existent. Vidyate. There is. Bhavaha. Endurance. Na. Never. Abhavaha. Changing quality. Vidyate. There is. Sataha. Of the eternal. Ubayo. Of the two. Api. Verily. Drishtaha. Observed. Antaha. Conclusion. True. Indeed. Anyoho. Of them. Tattva. Of the truth. Darshibi. By the seers. Translation. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. Please repeat. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. So, purport Srila Prabhupada, there is no endurance of the changing body, that the body is changing every moment by the actions and reactions of different cells is admitted by modern medical science, and thus growth and old age are taking place in the body. But the but the spirit soul exists permanently, remaining the same despite all changes of the body and the mind. That is the difference between matter and spirit. By nature, the body is ever changing and the soul is eternal. This conclusion is established by all classes of seers of the truth, both impersonalistic and personalist. In the Vishnu Puran 2.12.38, it is stated that Vishnu and his abodes all have self-illuminated spiritual existence. Jyotismi Vishnu Bhava Nani Vishnu. The words existent and non-existent refer to spirit and matter. That is the version of all seers of the truth. This is the beginning of the instruction of the Lord to the living entities who are bewildered by the influence of ignorance. Removal of ignorance involves the re-establishment of the eternal relationship between the worshipper and the worshipable, and the consequent understanding of the difference between the part and parcel living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can understand the nature of the Supreme by thorough study of oneself. The difference between oneself and the Supreme Being, and the Supreme being understood as the relationship between the part and the whole. In the Vedanta Sutras, as well as in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme has been accepted as the origin of all emanations. Such emanations are experienced by superior and inferior natural sequences. The living entities belong to the superior nature, as it will be revealed in the 7th chapter. Although there is no difference between the energy and the energetic is accepted as the supreme, and the energy or nature is accepted as subordinate. The living entities, therefore, are always subordinate to the Supreme Lord, as in the case of the master and the servant, or the teacher and the taught. Such clear knowledge is impossible to understand under the spell of ignorance, and to drive away such ignorance, the Lord teaches Bhagavad Gita for the enlightenment of all living entities for all time. Mukham karochi vachalam bhangam naite grivyat kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Mukham karochi vachalam bhangam naite grivyat kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Nashito vidite bhavo na bhavo vidite satah. Ubaya api dristontas tva na yoshtat vedashive. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal there is no change. In the original translation, it was no cessation. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. Yes. So Krishna is making a distinction between the material energy and the spiritual energy. Right? In this material world, as you know, it's a mixture of matter and spirit. There's different classifications of energy. However, in the spiritual world, everything is spiritual. Everything is eternal. Now that may be hard to conceive, because in this material world, we are always under time, right? We always think in terms of past, present, future. This is the way we're thinking. But in the spiritual world, that sense of material time, the Kala Shakti, is absent. And we know when Krishna appears in this world, if he wants to dance all night with the gopis for the length of one day of Lord Brahma, he can do it in one earth life, in one earth night, rather. You know the story, of course, right? From the Bhagavatam, when they were having the Ras Leela, they danced for in one night of earth time, but one day of Brahma. which is millions of years long. And they didn't become tired. In the spiritual world, people eat, but here we have to eat. If we don't eat, we'll starve to death. But people, they eat in the spiritual world out of leela. Everything is done out of ecstasy. It is a free condition. There is one verse in the Bhagavatam, Muktir hitavanyata rupam swarupena avavashtiti. That mukti, liberation from the material world, is to be situated in your swarup, swarup, your own intrinsic, natural, spiritual form, and then to relate to the Supreme Lord. So swarup means that, your own form. It's explained, we've discussed this many times, right? That we all have a swarup. We all have Jivara Swarupo Nityara Krishna Das. That is general. We all are servants of Krishna, but we all have our own individual, intrinsic, constitutional nature. Just like a tree is contained within the seed. So this seed is an apple tree, this seed is a banyan tree, this seed is a pear tree, intrinsically. So we have Swarup, we have our relationship, our ecstatic, loving relationship with Krishna inbuilt to the soul. Now there are other deviant Vaishnava Sampradayas that say, no, Guru gives you Swarup, Guru gives you Prem, but that is not correct. What's that verse, beginning of Bhagavatam? Om Purnam Madap Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Udashite. That the Supreme Lord is perfect and complete, and thereby all living entities and all emanations from him are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. So just like a seed would not be perfect and complete if it didn't have the design for an apple tree within. If it was just a seed, it wouldn't be a seed if it didn't have the constitutional design of an apple tree in that. If this didn't have the constitutional design of a banyan tree within the seed, well, it's a useless seed. Huh? So the deviant sampradayas think that by meditation I will attain this swarup, this and that is incorrect. You can do a search in Prabhupada's Veda base, constitutional, and you'll find that the nature, our swarup, is inbuilt. Therefore it is said, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabanai Shravanadi Sudajite Karideodai. We all have prem inbuilt in seed form. And Prabhupada uses the example that the child cannot walk, but intrinsic or constitutional to the child, he can walk. He just needs to be developed. The parents, they hold the hands of the child, and then the child learns to walk. So we all are naturally having our relationship with Krishna. But it is dormant. Just like the pear tree is dormant within the pear seed. The apple tree is dormant within the apple seed. The banyan tree is dormant within the banyan tree. But they are having their form. So it is also said there, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabanai Shravanadi Sudachite Karideodai. Right? Everyone knows. This is one of our Mahavakyas. That Krishna Prem is eternally established within the soul, but it's dormant. Kabunai, it means it's not to be taken from outside and put in the soul, but it is constitutional to the soul. Just like Krishna is constitutionally himself. He is not taking a form. In the purport, Prabhupada talks about the impersonalist. The impersonalist brain, the impersonal Brahman interacts with the material energy and takes form as Krishna, as Vishnu. That is Mayavadi philosophy. The impersonal somehow interacts with the material energy and becomes Vishnu, Durga, Surya, so on and so forth. No, Krishna is himself. He is constitutionally Krishna. And as Prabhupada says in the purport, the difference between Krishna and ourselves is he's the supreme and the unlimited, whereas we are sample of Krishna. We're part and parcel. Mama angsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. We are angsa. So Krishna is constitutionally himself. We are constitutionally ourselves. Muktir hitaman. Muktir means mukti. Swarupena avavashtiti. Avashtiti means to be situated in your constitutional nature. So this is very important. Just like everyone is constitutionally a musician, you can say. But the child has to be trained, and then his ears become attuned. His consciousness, his body becomes attuned to music. You understand? It's not that the music teacher puts music in the child, that this is impersonalism. You understand? So the soul has all the qualities of Krishna in minute form. Krishna is unlimited. He has unlimited opulence, personality, unlimited forms. And we have the same thing, but in smaller quality, smaller quantity. However, when we enter the spiritual world, we become practically the same status as Krishna. This is very astounding statement. I've read in the commentary of Govinda Bhasya. I think I've explained many times. Baladev Vidyabhushan wrote a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. And in the commentary, the Vedanta Sutra, as you know, right, you're all learned devotees, is in sutra form, some concise form, all the knowledge of the Upanishads particularly. Anyway, the question is asked that in the spiritual world, Krishna is unlimited Shakti. So how can the tiny spirit soul, Prabhupada mentions there, we are fragmental portions of Krishna. Mama angsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. We are eternal, but we are angsa. We are particle of Krishna. We are part of Krishna, but we're small. So Baladev answers very interestingly. He says that when the living entity awakens his constitutional Krishna prem and his spiritual form grows, develops from the constitutional nature of the soul, then Krishna empowers him. He gives him all Shakti so that he practically is equal to Krishna. He's not the same as Krishna or equal in power, but he can relate. He's empowered by Krishna, by prema and ecstasy and yoga maya, so that he is practically equivalent to Krishna. Do you understand this point? Is this point clear? Just like for a material example, the infant child is not equivalent to mother and father, right? So he's always, yes, mommy, no, daddy, yes, mommy, yes, right? But then as he grows up, material example, he becomes a man and he talks to his father face to face as a man, man to man, right? He's no longer the infant child or the boy. He's now, right? When he's a small boy, the father is told, don't do that, don't sit that, don't put your finger in the electric post. But when he's grown up, he's like his father, man to man. So the living entity, when he is liberated, he is empowered to be practically the same as Krishna in potency. Of course, Krishna is always the supreme controller, but it explains, Baladeva explains, however, one potency Krishna does not bestow upon the living entity. Because if he gave this potency, it would make a big confusion. You're wondering what that potency is, huh? It is the potency to create the material and spiritual. You understand? There is an unlimited spiritual world without time, material time, without restriction. There's no end to the spiritual world. I remember when we're a young man, we may look up in the sky and we think, where does the universe come to an end? Right? Did you ever do that when you were a young man? Right? When does the universe finish? I can see the sky and the planets and the stars, but where's the end? So just like there's no time in the spiritual world, there's no end to the spiritual world. There is only Sat. This is what Krishna is saying. There is no end to eternality. We experience everything the end. This body, as Krishna is explaining, the body will not endure. But the spiritual body is eternal. It never ends. The spiritual creation, there is no end to the creation. It is an unlimited creation. There is not a line where the spiritual world finishes and then there's an empty gap. Right? That's the way we think in the material world, right? Just like my bank balance, it's not unlimited. So you can spend all your money, then it comes to an end. But the spiritual world, everything is unlimited. Eternality. It's a different condition of existence. So the spiritual, our relationship with Krishna is eternal. And we're practically empowered to talk to Krishna equally. But we cannot create a new spiritual world or a new material world. Do you see the point? Now, it is true that many yogis, they can create different planets. It's mentioned in the Bhagavatam, right? They, big like Vishwamitra and so many of the demigods, Lord Brahma, he's creating so many things. But that creation is within the format of Krishna, of Krishna's creation. Do you see my point? It's not an independent creation of, that here's Krishna's creation and here's another living entity's creation on the side. The living entity can become empowered, like Lord Brahma, many demigods, and certain yogis to create by their potency different even planets and different conditions. They can do that, but it's within the creation of Krishna. I think the point is clear. Yeah? Just like that small child is growing up and he's living within the house of his parents, but he can create his own bedroom, his own study room, so on and so forth. You understand? But it's within the house of his parents. So we can have potency, but we can't completely change the creation or make a new creation. Krishna always remains the supreme, right? It would be very confusing, right? The father comes home, he comes in the house and everything's changed. Who did this? Your son did. So this is an important point. So Krishna doesn't give that. This is the statement of Baladeva Vibhushan. I've read it myself, and I was really struck by it. And also this, now it more than 50 years, but I remember reading this and thinking, wow, because, you know, I was brought up in the West with different man-made religions, but you come to the Vedas and then you are told the soul is different from the body, right? Like in Western culture, they say the soul of man. They think it's the emotions, right? Or they think it's the mind or the intelligence. But Krishna here says no. The soul is a different energy. The material body is temporary and it will die, but the soul is eternal. But we are not that body, right? You're not the body. It's a very common statement. We are the soul in the body. So I looked it up. Prabhupada used to quote this verse many times. It's from the Vishnu Puran. I think, yes. Is it? Prem Vaivata. No. Huh? Maybe it's this one. Yes. Prabhupada often quote this in his lectures. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Chetra Gyaya Tata Para Avidya Karma Sangyaya Tirtiya Shakti Ishyate. So this is describing the three divisions of the energy. So Krishna has many aspects, but his energy can be put into three. And remember, Krishna is Purusha and he has energy. So this energy is distributed throughout the universe. But it has now, how can you understand that? Well, look at this room. We have a fan, we have a camera, we have a microphone, we have lights, so on and so forth. We have the AC. These are the energy of what? The power station, right? So the power station is like the Purusha. You understand? Purusha means Krishna. And then Radha, the energy. So the Purusha is the power station and it is giving out energy. Just like the power station gives out energy through the wire. Everything, all these lights and fans and everything, microphone, it's resting on electricity, and this electricity has come from the power station. So the power station is Purusha, Krishna, and the energy is the electricity. Is this clear? Everything. You can make a division between the power station and the energy. So here in the Vishnu Puran, it explains that Krishna has three basic divisions to the energy. Now, the power station just gives electricity, right? One energy. But that's an example. But Krishna gives three energies out, three energies that you can categorize. So here it is in the Vishnu Puran. The first one, the internal potency of the Supreme Lord is spiritual, as verified by the Shastras. So this is the Chit Shakti. Chaitra, Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta. It is the supreme, like I've explained, the spiritual world is made of the Chit Shakti or the Paraprokta, the supreme energy. And it is different from this material energy, which is limited, right? We're going to get to that. The internal potency of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. Vishnu is Purusha. He's the power station. And one kind of electricity is the Chit Shakti in the spiritual world. Are you following? As verified by the Shastra. So the Shastra is teaching that. There is another spiritual potency known as the Chaitra Gyan. Chaitra Gyan means knower of the field. That field is the body. We are, as Prabhupada says there in the purport, we are knower of this body, but Krishna is knower of everybody, right? As Paramatma, he's unlimited. We know this body. Oh, you stood on my toe. I know. But I don't know your body. I don't know your body. I don't know what's going on in your body or mind. But Krishna knows what's going on in everybody's mind and body. Very interesting thought, isn't it? Right? So that is why these people that say, "Oh, we're all God, we're all God." Well, tell me what you can, what's going on in my mind now. I don't know what's going on in your mind. Well, I'll tell you. I'm starting to think you're a donkey. You think that you're God, and it's an illusion. So we are Kshetragyan. We are knower of the body, and the translation here is we are the living entity. So we have two now. We have the Chit Shakti, the spiritual energy that composes the spiritual world. And like I say at the beginning, it has completely different categories, but it's all spiritual. It has category of ecstasy, bhava, Ladini Shakti, Chit Shakti, Sat aspect, Vigraha, right? It is a different quality from the material energy. This is dull. This is unconscious. Everything in the spiritual world is conscious energy. Now just think that. You're actually, now this is a meditation for you to do. We are in the spiritual world, we're within the mind, we're living within the consciousness of Krishna. Just think that, right? We are spiritual. There's another spiritual potency known as the living entity. So in the spiritual world, it's the Chit Shakti or the conscious Shakti. This means it's the consciousness of Krishna. Just imagine that. We are conscious of this body, right? So in the spiritual world, Krishna's consciousness is, we are living within that consciousness. That means angsa, mama angsa. Krishna is conscious of us, and we're within the consciousness of Krishna. Isn't that an amazing? We can contemplate that, right? In the spiritual world, all the devotees there, they're conscious of Krishna directly, and Krishna's directly conscious of them. Isn't that amazing? That is true, that, right? We're within the consciousness of Krishna. It's truly amazing thought, right? So that's what Harinam is, that's what meditation is, to enter the consciousness of Krishna. And then what do we get? Didami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti de. Krishna gives intelligence, he gives inspiration, he gives bliss, he gives guidance, he gives happiness, right? Because we're in the consciousness of Krishna, right? The third potency, the third energy coming from the power station, Krishna, which is known as nescience or ignorance, the material energy, makes the living entity godless and fills him with fruitive activity. So in the spiritual world, everyone is in ecstasy. Nobody's thinking, I want to get something from my activity. Everyone is just giving. They're giving love and they're receiving love, right? In this material world, what do we want? We want a wife to love, and we want the wife to love us, right? We want to have children so we can love the children, and then we want the children to love us in return, right? That is coming from Krishna. Krishna is loving Radha. This is called by Vishwanath Chakravarti the Adi Ras. Krishna is loving Radha, and he's being loved by Radha, right? He's being so also Radha is loving Krishna. Krishna is her object of love, and she is being loved by Krishna. Now we're trying to do that in the material world, right? We're trying to love the wife and the children, or we love a philosophy or a political idea, and then we want to be famous for propagating some material philosophy. But it's all nescience. Makes the living entity godless and fills him with fruitive activity. So why are we godless? Because we're outside the consciousness of Krishna. In one sense, Krishna is fully conscious of us, but we're not reciprocating with Krishna. Do you understand the point? We are bahirmukh, outward looking. We're not conscious of Krishna because we're looking at the material energy and we're not thinking, I'll use this apple, this water, this tulsi leaf to offer to Krishna. We're thinking, I'll use it for me. You understand? So by our consciousness, we are godless. We're turned away. We're bahirmukh. Whereas a devotee is antirmukh. Is looking towards Krishna. What I can do for Krishna. I want to serve Krishna. Yad karoshi yadanas. I want to cook for Krishna. I want to clean the temple for Krishna. I want to bring mangoes from the tree to Krishna. But the material idea is, I'll take mangoes for the tree for me. So with this attitude of selfishness and forgetfulness of our connection with Krishna, that is material life. Do you see the point? So Krishna is still conscious of us as Paramatma, because everything is within Krishna. Mother Yashoda saw Krishna within, all right? She looked in the mouth of Krishna. She saw, oh, I'm there. Oh. Right? I'm within Krishna. But Krishna's on my lap. I don't understand this. Achincha Beda Bed. So Krishna is conscious of us, but we are unconscious of him by attitude. Because we're looking at the material energy and thinking, I'll enjoy this. Whereas we are meant to be the angsa of Krishna and looking towards Krishna and Krishna's devotees, Radharani, the Astashakis, the Mother Yashoda, the cowherd boys, Vrindavan. We are meant to be looking at that and in ecstasy using everything in Krishna's service. Whereas in this material world, we're turned away and we're full of fruitive activity. What does that mean? Fruitive activity means I'm performing some activity and I want the result for me. We get a job in the factory. We work hard and we want the salary for me. We work in an office, we want the salary for me. We start a business, we want to make profit for me. Huh? So that's fruitive activity. I want the fruit, like a tree gives fruit. So our activities, we perform them and we want the fruit. So that is the material energy. But that material energy is temporary. That relationship with the wife is temporary. The children are temporary. They'll grow up and they'll leave. The wife will die. The house I built will fall apart. Everything is temporary. Plus, so it is not sat, it is asat. It is temporary. So this is the first point that Krishna is telling Arjuna. That which is material has no endurance. It will come to an end. But that which is spiritual is eternal. When we enter the spiritual world, we will be in ecstasy of Krishna Prem eternally. There's no end to it. So this is a major point, because in this life, there's two things we must learn. Detachment from Maya, material life, and attachment to spiritual life. Huh? Now, so Arjuna, Krishna is making this basic point. Arjuna, understand that this material world is temporary. Whatever you gain will go. Huh? So why become attached? It breaks at the root our attachment to the material energy. And then he says, but the sages, the seers of the truth, they have seen that the spiritual has no cessation. It never comes to an end. Our relationship with Krishna, the spiritual energy, is eternal. So what do you want? So that's Krishna consciousness. Then the next verse, Prabhupada also quoted, it's actually the next verse of the Purana. O king, the Kshetragyan Shakti is the living entity. Although he has the facility to live in either the material of or the spiritual world, he suffers the threefold miseries of material existence, Adidevik, Adibhautik, right? Because he is influenced by avidya, nescience, ignorance, which covers his constitutional position, which we just explained. We are constitutionally meant. We are constitutionally eternal lovers of the spiritual residents of the spiritual world. But nescience, Maya, covers our intelligence. We're small and we're turned away from Krishna and we're trying to enjoy the material world. So how do we turn back? We surrender to bona fide Guru. And Guru teaches us, look in your heart. Krishna is in your heart. Prem is in your heart. Your Swarup is in your heart. Your nature is there. And in Kali Yuga, two things are very important. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Hearing the philosophy, pramana. Understanding this, Krishna is telling Arjuna. He's not saying, Arjuna, look, you're in Maya, chant Hare Krishna. No, he's saying, Arjuna, understand this material world is temporary. It's full of unhappiness. He said that in the previous verses. You're in anxiety. That's the material world. Come, serve the Supreme. So you hear the philosophy. My God. And I remember reading the Bhagavad Gita first time. I got it by mail order. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. This is incredible. I'm an eternal being, but I'm in the material energy, whereas I should be in the spiritual energy. So if I learn a little philosophy, and then Shravanam, hearing, and then Kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So a little philosophy, sadhu sangha, and lots of chanting, and we'll all awaken our constitutional prem, our constitutional swarup. You don't have to worry about anything. It's not artificial intelligence. It is intelligence given by Krishna. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajitam pritipurvakam didami buddhi yoga, real buddhi, real intelligence. He doesn't say, I'll give you artificial intelligence. No, he says, I'll give you real intelligence. And what is that intelligence? Yena mam upayanti. How? Krishna will do that. He will say, Prabhuji, go South India and do a little bhajan. Keshi Daman, do a little bhajan. Prabhuji, do a little bhajan. Chant Hare Krishna, learn this. He will give intelligence to everyone, not just to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Srila Bhakti Siddhanta or Ramanujacharya. Krishna will give everybody a little intelligence. Dadami Buddhi Yogam, not artificial intelligence. Now everyone's talking artificial intelligence, right? Actually, we should have a Buddhi Yoga chat GP, and you speak into the computer and you say, what are the three modes of material nature? And then the computer says, well, the three modes of material nature are sattva, rajas, tama. Really? You should have like it would be a good project. Huh? The Russians are very intelligent with computers. We should, huh? They will tell you. Oh, they're becoming real intelligent then. We should call that real intelligence. But we could put all the Vaishnav literatures, all the Vishnu Puran, all Prabhupada's books, all Bhakti Vinod's books, all the essays of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta into a huge database, and you ask, what does Srila Bhakti Siddhanta say about nescience? Right? Could you make that program? Yeah, well, I'm searching for someone to do it. A kind of Hare Krishna chat GP. Okay, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So thank you all very much for your kind attention. It's always wonderful. I hope you got something from the class. And remember that you have real intelligence because you're studying the words of Krishna and the Acharyas. Huh? Not artificial intelligence, AI. But if the artificial intelligence is quoting the Vedas, then it's becoming smart. It starts to grow up. Excuse me? Ah, yeah, that's one of my ideas to make a website. Vedas are truth. Yeah. Yes, please go ahead. Well, that's an interesting point. That question is there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vasudev Dutt says, I want put all the sinful activities of the jiva on me and let them all go to the spiritual world. And it is explained there that there are unlimited jivas and they will be awoken from susupti. You know what susupti is? It means unconscious state. So the jivas are unlimited too, because we can come to that conclusion because they are part of the spiritual energy. You understand? So everything in the spiritual energy is unlimited. You can think of it this way. Krishna is one, but unlimited. We are unlimited in number, but limited in size. So Krishna is limited in number, he's one, but unlimited in size. We are limited in size, but unlimited in number. You see my point? So we're the counterpoint. These are thoughts for contemplation, but it is explained like that. I have read that the living entities are unlimited in number. Because if the spiritual world is unlimited, right? We were discussing, and it's not my idea, it's in the Shastra, there's no end to the spiritual world, then that means you need unlimited living entities to fill it up. Do you see my point? It's logical, huh? Spiritual world is unlimited, so there must be unlimited living entities to fill it. Huh? You're nodding your head. I think this is a reasonable idea. Yes, correct, Mataji? Is it correct? There's unlimited spiritual living entities in an unlimited universe. But we're in this limited section. So we turn away from Maya and we turn to Krishna. Huh? And then we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just like Trivikram. He can, Trivikram in 3 steps, 2 steps, he went all over the universe. Huh? You can put your foot on my head. You said my name is Trivikram. Huh? What?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama.